I was really proud of myself that I just kind of let it go and just not worry about the outcome so much and just fight.
You've trained with her in the past, so the ways that you guys have trained, obviously that stays in the gym, but now that it's done, was it more or less what it looked like in sparring and when you guys trained together?
You know, there was, I think, it was more or less, I think in training, she was a little more tentative on the feet, more like backward stepping. Like there was maybe like only a couple times where she would come forward a little bit. In the fight, she was a little bit more aggressive in the second round, I think, from my memory. But yeah, I would say it would always be a very like, she would shoot more, I think, too, in training. So, so that was something a little different, I think, and I think that I grappled with her more in this fight than in training.
And how important was getting a victory here? Because you're obviously trying to get the belt at 125 pounds, and you've had some mixed results here and there. Did you feel the pressure of that you needed to win to sort of keep those type of hopes alive?
Yes, and also I definitely felt the pressure just fighting somebody who's, you know, lower in the rankings and knowing how good she is also, because, I mean, yeah, I think she's a little better than what her rankings kind of say, especially because she's been, she always kind of had to fight, you know, beneath her as well. So it was, you know, good that I gave her this opportunity. I think she deserved that because she was always, you know, fighting people beneath her, and she's been on a long win streak. But so obviously that ranking doesn't really reflect hers, I guess, exactly. But yeah, I felt the pressure, but I guess I always do. And but at the same time, I kind of was able to brush it off because I knew that's what I had to do in order to perform well. Because yeah, you can't be worried about all that stuff. Well, you just, like I said, I just had to worry about fighting, and I did that. But it was definitely a struggle.
So you fought down in the rankings this time around. I'm assuming for your next fight, you want to do the opposite, right? You want to fight down. So there isn't a ton of names ahead of you, but names that are available, like, is there one that stands out more than the other that interests you for your next fight?
You know, when I originally was looking to get back in there before this fight, I was looking at Viviane, but she's matched up with Tracy, so not that one. I would, you know, anybody. I know I just fought Aaron, so that wouldn't make sense. Or I mean, maybe it does. I don't know. They probably weren't going to do that. So I don't know. I have to look and see. I mean, there's Natalia. There's Alexa Grasso. Yeah, I'm kind of blanking right now. And I just, you know, I also fought Menon, so man, any of those girls, anybody that's in the top, you know, 5 or whatever, that would be awesome. And yeah, if something crazy happens and I'm deserving of a title shot, I'd love that as well. But you know, I want to be deserving, so whatever it takes to get that.
The Alexa Grasso fight would be fun.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, she's actually, and it would be kind of a full circle moment. I remember back when I was in Invicta and she was like still coming up, and she came up to me and was like, "Oh, I love you so much, you know, like you're such an inspiration." And now she's like, you know, became champion in this weight class, and then, you know, so yeah, that would be kind of crazy to see us, you know. So maybe that happens. I don't know.
And that's it for me. You're probably still the biggest name in the division right now as far as the contenders go. So I would assume, like, you know, your road back to a championship fight is not too long. So how far do you think you are now that you have this victory?
How far do I?
Yeah, like how do you think you're 1-2 fights away at most?
Yeah, I would say at least, or I mean, I would say probably just one fight. You know, I would, yeah. Sorry.
Well, congrats.
Thank you.
Hey Rose, so we talked about you training with Miranda. Is that something you'd be willing to go back and do now that this fight's over, or is that just a different period of your life?
Yeah, I think so. You know, she's a great training partner. Like she's, yeah. She actually mentioned that in the cage. You know, yeah, we'll see each other in a couple weeks. You know, kind of a thing. So even though I think she was like, she kind of hurt her knee or something happened. So, so yeah, I'll be expecting to see her at some point. You know, we're like I said, we're good training partners for each other, and you know, I think there was a little bit of misunderstanding between us going into this one and how this whole fight came about in general, and some of the stuff she was saying. So But yeah, after that, you have nothing but respect for the other person. She definitely fought more, I guess, aggressive than I was expecting her to. So I have a lot of respect for her for doing that and bringing the fight and making it exciting. And so yeah, so I'll be looking forward to seeing her in the gym.
Now, about that misunderstanding, I couldn't quite tell, but it looked like you guys talked afterwards and you were saying that you never called for this fight.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think because it was, from my understanding in the media, it was, and I take it, I wasn't like watching every interview she ever did, but it sounded like as if she was saying that maybe like Pat was calling for this fight or something like that, and that's like completely opposite of what I remember. If anything, I just remember taking note how quickly she wanted the opportunity to step in for Macy last year. So I kind of took note of that, because we just, and I have no problems with fighting people that I train with, but if we just did a whole training camp together, we're probably gonna want to reset before we have a fight together, you know what I mean? So I'd rather have us have a training camp apart, in order for that to be at least remove any weird feelings. So it's still gonna be weird feelings no matter what, it is what it is. Like we're fighters, and so there's emotions, and you punch each other, and you're competing. But at the end of the day, yeah, we just kind of figured out and put it to the side.
And the last one from me. You mentioned it looked like she hurt her knee in there.
Yeah.
Do you know what sort of happened? It also looked like maybe you dropped her. I couldn't quite tell what happened in that sort of.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to her knee. She obviously hurt her knee or something. I know for sure I dropped her though, because I felt that punch land. I saw like her eyes kind of roll back in the back of her head, and when I jumped on top of her, and she probably, I don't know if she heard it at that moment, because yeah, she wasn't like in a, I guess I was having heavy pressure on top of her, but I also felt like she wasn't, there was opportunities for maybe for her to stand up a little quicker, and it felt like that sense of urgency as much. So, but yeah, I definitely felt like I dropped her, and I felt that,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey, Rose, over here. Congratulations on your win. You beat 3 ranked opponents, and you said that a couple names that you threw out there was Natalia Silva and Alexa Grasso. Which one do you think would be the better matchup for you if you had to choose?
Yeah, I think Alexa Grasso would probably be stylistically a little bit, I think a little bit better for me. I think Natalia's, her speed is very tricky, and she's very, she sustains it, for a very long time. So, so yeah, she would be a little, I think, more of a trickier fight, but I think just with my experience and everything like that, yeah, I think either of those girls, and Alexa has the experience, as far as like the title fights and stuff like that. So, so yeah, I think I would say leaning more towards Alexa would be a little bit better of a matchup for me, but Natalia, I think I match up really well with as well. I just have to be very smart and have a good game plan for her.
Thank you. Congrats on your win.
Thank you.
One more. What sort of timeline would you look to get back then?
Ooh, I have to think about that, I started with just my new, like, kind of rededicating my spiritual journey and my walk and with God and stuff. I had kind of been observing the biblical feast, so there's like in October, so I would have to like think about that and kind of navigate that. And I want to go back to Lithuania to see my family. There was a lot of Lithuanian fans up there too today, so it just made me think I gotta go back there and see the family and stuff. And so, given those things, I mean, I have no injuries, so I can, given the right opportunity, I could definitely be back in there, I'd say fairly shortly. Mm-hmm. Thank you, guys.
That was even better than both being rifles. I was told I know this is especially to the East Coast show. No, I mean, East Coast, 2 a.m. We're sponsored by Bud Light. Oh, that's all right. I understand we can't start at the beginning, right? Questions about real fun. I can't imagine seeing
What's up, guys?
All right, man. First of all, congratulations. That was a fantastic performance. You know, you were counted out by a lot of people heading into this fight, but did you know that's how the fight would look going into it?
No, no, I didn't. I didn't. I just had to get back in the lab, sharpen all my tools. I know it's been a while. It's been a while, and after the last one, was a strong, hungry guy, one of the most, just kind of dangerous and terrifying guys. And I was dealing with some things going into that one, but I couldn't fight for sure.
That fight, it's almost like they forgot I could fucking wrestle. And they got dismissive, you know, and a little borderline disrespectful. But I just had to pull out the skill and just let them know, hey, respect every aspect of my game. Every aspect.
It was impressive, and you know, I think people did count you out. I think if you look back at those losses, it's a little unfair to do so, right? You know, no need to go over them, but Leon fight, you're winning into the last second. The second fight, very close, and then the Hanzo fight, you took that under the circumstances you did. You appeared to be quite emotional tonight as well. I don't want to get into your personal life, but is part of that emotion coming from the relief that you were able to put off a performance like this and remind people just how great you are at this point?
I swear, because I'm a fucking girl dad. It's hard. I mean, it's been a while since, not just with getting back in here, but obviously getting in the win column. Battled a lot of things just to get in. Just repairing my body, just physically, personally, a lot of things that I had to just kind of, just expressively fight a lot of demons just to get back in here. But yeah, a lot that I had to go through, but thankfully, I'm blessed with a great team, great support system, great family, and I'm back here. So I just want to, recognize them. I want to recognize my family, my mom, dad, brothers, sister, T-Baby, Sammy, Lulu, Zena, baby, I love you guys. My coaches, Henry, Trevor, George, Ben, teammates, Justin, Archie, all these guys, even guys down there in Kill Cliff. I love and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Whether you knew it or not, they played a big, big factor in this tonight. So I just want to say I'm thankful. But yeah, I guess, like I said, I'm a girl dad now, so I get a little emotional nowadays. But let's get back to business. No, guys get dismissive. Like, what are we doing here? Don't forget I can wrestle. I've always been able to wrestle. I battled a lot of things in that Hamza fight, but I'm back now. So, respect every aspect of my game that we can get back to throwing hands.
Last one on the emotions, because I don't have to keep going over it, but was fighting tonight, and not necessarily winning, but fighting tonight winning something you had to do to be able to finish the battle that you were going through, or is that something that you're just going to have to face each time?
Well, the battle's never done. I mean, it's never done. It's a mountain that you have to climb each and every time you get back in there. It's difficult to get in there. I know people watch at home and they just kind of talk shit about fighters. Oh, this fighter's bad. This fighter's this fighter. But it takes a lot to get in there. You know, you have to respect each and every fighter who's willing to put their life on the line to get in there. But each and every time you get in there, you're gonna battle them. But that's what I'm used to doing. You know, champions aren't just, you don't just wake up a champion. You gotta build yourself into being a champion. Like I said, I have a great support system, so, you know, we're back humping, we're back climbing.
When Buckley's on board talking to you, is part of you just like, you can talk all you want, mate. I'm up here and I'm the experienced guy, and you just look at that as maybe he's trying anything because he's not trying to get up, or what are you feeling when he's talking?
I don't give a shit. You know, he talked all week, but, you know, he's very talented and strong. And, you know, that's what he does to get himself in the fight, and it works for him. But that doesn't do anything for me. You know, I'm in there to take care of business. When I'm in the gyms, me and my coaches, we work, and the show's in there. I don't need to pay attention to all the distractions, whether he's talking or not, but hey, I just take care of business.
Two more good ones from me. Having Big Francis around this fight week, obviously everyone knows the context of his appearance at a UFC event these days. Was it still nice that the promotion was okay with that and he was allowed to be here?
I mean, why not? With France, he came to a sporting event to support his brother. What's wrong with that? You know, everyone knows Big Francis. Francis has a very special journey, special life that he's lived. And if anyone can't respect that, I mean, sorry for you, self-made man, just like I am. So, you know, you just have to respect it, but it was special for him to be here. Just like, you know, me going to support him, he supports me, just like Justin and all these guys. So I'm thankful. I have a beautiful support system, and I'm grateful for that.
And last one for me, obviously, performance was amazing tonight. Still one of the best in the world, one of the best to ever do it. But I do feel we're at a stage now where we should be appreciating the few appearances you might have left in your career. So with that said, title shot would appear to be the thing on your mind next, right?
Absolutely. Like I said, I only had to really use one skill tonight. And, you know, I possess something. Everyone knows I can knock you out with my hands. But if you're going to give me that, I'm going to take it. You know, so, you know, let's be honest, I'm the biggest in the division. You know, and this is about entertainment. The UFC is an entertainment company. We want to make the biggest fight. It's going to be the winner of JDM and Islam. You know, if Islam pulls that one out, forward pound for pound, current pound for pound, who doesn't pay for that?
Congratulations, man. It's a really impressive fight.
Appreciate it.
Kamaru, so just going on that, you feel like basically tonight you got yourself a title shot, you get yourself the winner of JDM Islam?
I mean, you don't feel like that. Who else?
You're the biggest name, right?
Okay, thank you.
But I'm asking you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And you haven't fought since 2023, right? It's been a while, and throughout that process, you know, we've seen Gilbert Burns kind of fade out of the title contention, as well as Colby, you know, Jorge Masvidal a while ago, Stephen Thompson, like all the guys of your generation, right? As you're watching that, do thoughts come up like, you know, am I still one of the world's best? As you kind of watch the generational change of the division?
No, I mean, shouts out to each and every one of those guys. You know, like I said, respect to everyone who's willing to get in here each and every time. But I'm different. I've been different. That's why I was who I was in the division. I'm different. Just because you didn't see me out for 2 years, I was taking a little sabbatical. That doesn't mean I wasn't working. You know, everyone goes, oh, it's ring rust, ring rust. I was able to come in there and really just utilize one skill. But hey, I still possess what it takes to be the best in this division. So, you know, it's only up from here.
Yeah. And something that I noticed in your performance is you were mean in there. Like you were landing shots, and it just, you know, you wanted it, and it just felt like your spirit was very much there in terms of like wanting to cause damage and wanting to make a statement. Did you enter this fight with a chip on your shoulder? Did you feel like you were being underestimated?
Like I said, you know, it's like a monkey on your back. You know, obviously, everyone going, oh, you're 0 for 3, this and that, and can you still do it? You're older, you're this, you're that. It is what it is. As long as I continue to put the work in, like I said, I have an excellent support system. Hey, I just had to go in there and do what I do. Have you ever known me to not be mean in there? No. I go in there and I take care of business, and I did that tonight.
And you mentioned like reconstructing and building back your body and this time off. How did you feel physically in there? And in this stage of your career, is it safe to say that you're feeling better than you did when you were defending the belt?
It's never safe to say that. Let's not lie. But it's like riding a bike. I got on there and I started pedaling and I realized I could go fast.
Congrats on the win, Joe.
Thank you.
Hey, champ, congrats. You maybe already touched on this a little bit, but just kind of to clarify. Outside of the meanness, like, there was some chickiness at the end of round one. You're staring Buckley down as you're getting up, kind of something similar at the end of round two. Was that to do with Buckley or more to do with the aforementioned monkey on your back?
I mean, you gotta, it's a little bit of both. Sometimes the little brother's gonna talk trash to big brother because little brother's gonna feel kind of big for his britches. And sometimes you gotta remind him a little bit. Buckley's very, very talented, strong, hungry, young, and he's still gonna have success in a lot of interesting and exciting matchups for him in his division. But, you kind of have to go out there and show him a little bit.
Fair enough. In the fifth round, you dominated that fight front and center, though some judge gave you only 3 of the rounds, which is interesting. Were you hurt at all in the fifth round? Things seemed to heat up near the end. Just kind of wanted to see how you were handling that.
No, I wasn't hurt, but when someone is going for broke and they're just kind of swinging, the point of the game is to be able to control. I wanted to stay under control. And so it could kind of look a little sloppy, trying to control a guy that's swinging while I'm trying to get you out of there. So, that's kind of all it was. My coaches didn't want me to make any mistakes. And when you're in there, sometimes you make mistakes. So we're gonna go back, we're gonna look at it. But it's just only up from here.
And I have to ask you, I think I know what you're going to say, but Bilal Muhammad quickly tweeted, "See you soon." I know your eyes are on a title fight, but if the UFC comes to you, that's also a pretty big fight, former champ for former champ, a lot of backstory. Is that something you would entertain if the UFC, came to you about it?
Who was it?
Bilal Muhammad.
Who was it?
Former welterweight champion, Bilal Muhammad.
Next. I forgot it. Next.
Thanks, champ.
Come on, congrats on your win. Given the long layoff and the way you look tonight, a lot of people seem impressed. They have counted you out in the past, and you just had an amazing performance. Given the loss against Hamza was a very competitive fight, a lot of people felt that you could have had a decent run at 185. At any point, did you consider a permanent move to that division?
It only makes sense to fight for that title. If it wasn't for that title, obviously I wasn't wanting Hamza when he was lurking around the welterweight division, but that fight only made sense to step in and like I said, I love this company, and I wanted to help out. So I stepped in. Of course, no one was willing to step in and take that fight in, so I stepped in and helped out. Obviously, I wanted the playing field to be leveled. He was already a big middleweight. Had I had time to grow into that and given the appropriate time to work with my team and build into that fight, I think it could have been a little different. But respect to Hamza, he's very, very tough, very, very talented, and I'm anxious to see what he does for that title. But no, it doesn't. If it's not for the title, what's the point?
Now, given the fact that, just like everybody mentioned, you're pretty much back in the title picture again. Recently, Islam announced his permanent move to 170 pounds. Is that a fight that could absolutely happen?
Absolutely. JDM is no slouch, so let's not look past JDM. I said that in his last fight, and he went out there and he showed you that. Don't look past him. He's very, very talented. Islam is extremely talented. I love Islam. I think him coming in makes that division a lot more interesting. So if he's able to get in there and wrestle that belt away from JDM, former pound for pound, current pound for pound, I think everybody wants to watch that. So, yeah.
Now, given all these new names that have taken part in the 170-pound division, that are all like displacing the older guys, I'll let you mention them. Is there a specific name that excites you more than others?
Let's do. Let me just go ahead and make the matchmaker for you guys. Buckley, incredible fights. Buckley can fight Ian Gary, or Buckley can fight Carlos Prates. Sean Brady can fight Shafkat. Me, winner of Islam JDM. Simple.
Appreciate it.
Who?
Just one more. So do you predict that Islam will win the 70 belt once that fight gets over?
I'm not predicting anything. All I'm saying to you guys is stop sleeping on JDM. Very, very talented. Very, very talented. That's why he's the champion right now. Let's not sleep on him. Islam, of course, is pound for pound, #1. So let's not sleep on him too. It's gonna be an interesting fight. I will be watching that fight, and I'll take the winner.
How big would the fight between you and Islam be? That would have to be like one of the biggest fights in the company.
Of course. When have we ever had former pound for pound and current pound for pound?
And just lastly, who do you see taking the belt at 185?
At 185, listen, I told you guys, don't sleep on Hamza. When he was fighting Robert Whittaker, we said, oh yeah, Whittaker's gonna get him. Don't sleep on him. Hamza's extremely talented, extremely strong. He can shock anyone. But Dricus du Plessis, you can't sleep on him as well. He's the champion for a reason, taking out 3 champions back to back to back. So, hey, respect to all those guys. I respect every one of these fighters. You know, I know people at home who are spectators and were fans, and they like to just kind of talk shit. Oh, he had a bad performance, he had a boring one. You have to respect each and every one of these guys that's willing to get in here, you know, in little bitty gloves and damn near underwear and bare their soul in here. So you have to respect them.
So what ideal scenario would be Islam wins pound for pound, former pound for pound versus current pound for pound, go up to 185, and Hamza wins, and then you get that one back.
Now you speaking my language.
Thank you.
We're here. DC and Henry Cejudo gave you a lot of praise after this win, calling it masterful, one of your best. So I'm curious, like, I know it's very fresh, obviously, and all the tactics around it, but where do you kind of rank this one in your career?
Yeah, I mean, it's up there because of just all the things that I was battling. You know, everyone talks about the age. Oh, it's 38, he's older, he can't do this, he can't do that anymore. So it's hard not to let it get to you. So just being able to get out there and show that I could still wrestle at 38, no matter all the comments about the knees, I can still wrestle. So respect that. Like I said, then we get back to throwing hands.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Hey, we're over here. After this 2-year layoff, I bet, you know, you were going through a lot of things. I know this one is emotional for you. I talked to your teammate, Justin. He said that you address things with your body. And kind of going off of his question, what he asked earlier, is this the best version of Kamaru Usman?
I don't want to say the best version. Let's be honest, I'm 38, and I can still do it. So I think the best is yet to come.
Before you had fought Kamzat, you said your plan was to win the middleweight title, go down, win the welterweight title, and walk off in the sunset. Kind of flip welterweight title, middleweight title, walk off in the sunset.
Yeah, let's just flip that. Okay.
And then one more thing. So I'm from San Antonio, Texas. You live in Dallas, Texas. Can we confirm that HEB is the best grocery store of all time?
HEB
HEB.
over Kroger?
No way.
I live in Florida, and it's over Publix.
Pub sub?
Thank you, boss. Wrestling.
Thank you.
Good. Perfect. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you guys. Appreciate each and every one of you guys.
You want me to go?
You already did.